Welcome to Parascension Radio, bringing you new perspective for your spiritual evolution. So get ready and welcome your host, Solana.
All right, and for those of you joining us, hello and welcome into Parascension Life. I need everyone to get that catchphrase going. Parascension. What's it mean? What's Parascension mean to you? Because for me, I live a paranormal life, and I have always lived a paranormal life. I wrote that's the book about it, the paranormal. I mean, rather, Parascension life, my paranormal experiences, because I've had them all my life, and you meet a few people here and there that have been subject to the same. But you know, at the same time, I believe we're all psychic. We all have that intuition. We all have that ability to know things. And that again has happened, right? Raise your hand, everybody. You've known things and, had dreams or whatever. However the message just came to you, you knew. And then it happened. And you're like, see, I knew. And that's part of, being that psychic. What people, again, labels, label alert. I feel like I need to put a label alert out because we definitely have labeled ourselves almost to oblivion because now words just like don't even really mean anything. But I've been labeled a psychic energy medium. And that's because I'm a psychic. I can operate in that energy, that knowing, and, definitely share that with other people. I've been doing it professionally now for as long as I've been alive, because I'm only 29, but I've been doing it for like 30 years. So you figure it out now. I'm just kidding. It's, I'm bad at math. But anyway, I'm also a medium where I definitely, yes, connect with the unseen, the other side, the world that most people are afraid of. But again, it's not like I boom wasn't afraid of it. I was afraid of it growing up. We talk about that in the book as well. But definitely, it's an intuition, so it's a psychic. Um, and so we're all kind of like that. Plus, we don't have to label ourselves psychic. If you don't like the word, don't use it. Just say gut feeling. I got that gut feeling. Because that's, that intuition, that yellow chakra, that right there at your belly button knowing. That's why they feel like, every time you get, a truth told you, feel like you got punched in the stomach because you go, oh, I knew that. I knew. Right? What are y'all saying over here in the chat room? Yes, Samantha's raising her hand. Oh, no, hey, I'm going to have to scroll back up here because Miss Janie had said earlier that, of course, she had a paranormal experience last night, had a visitor, and then found out today that she had died around that time. See how spirit works for me in our life here, Janie, I got to tell you, because, I have been, thinking, that's one of the ways that manifested for me first was that, seeing someone who had passed over and they came to me, and then I found out they had passed over. So yeah, that's the very first chapter in the book is about my grandmother who had passed over. So God bless you and bless her spirit on this journey home. And that's another thing that we need to do is, I know we all mourn and death is not easy on the living. But the one thing that we need to remember is the more that we pray for them, the more it edifies their journey because it's not over when they leave here. All sorts of things can happen once you leave here. If you get to leave here right away, other things can happen to prevent that from happening, and that's a whole other book. But so yes, the praying for them though definitely edifies them and helps them as their journey continues, um, and it actually helps them to be able to leave this place, without feeling all the sorrow and the grief that we can go through in the mourning stages. It's really, I mean, they say there's stages to mourning. You never really, I mean, you may experience them, one at a time. I'm not even going to list them for you. I think We all have our own interpretation of what those stages are. But in any case, there's those stages of mourning that we go through, and they can last for years, right? At the same time, we have to remember that we need to pray for them as well, because that wanting, that mourning, that is actually it's just a low energy, because we're so emotionally attached. And trust me, I know loss. I'm not one to say in any way. In fact, I feel like crying right now because I know loss. I know the grief of loss, and there's nothing anyone can ever say, do, or attempt to do that's going to make you feel any better. But at the same time, we need to pray for them. God bless their soul. God bless their heart, so that they can move on and carry it forward. And hey, Candy, how you doing? Oh, and hi, Mariah. Um, and is that Syed? Am I pronouncing that right? Hello. And Cindy is saying, yes, all my life. Mariah said, every time see things and hear things no one else sees or notices. Yes, Candy. And Janie, this time, you're saying, this time I did not see her, but I felt her. She hugged me, and I have never felt such a great feeling in my life. Her energy was fantastic. I remember saying, wow, that feels great. That's awesome. Because, again, it's a wonderful feeling, when we can share that unconditional love. And that's what it is, when it's not attached to that emotion. Again, this is a whole other show that I'm going to do is on apathy versus empathy, and where the balance is, that we need to find. Because emotional things that we go through in this lifetime they're so heavy, and they can be so limiting. So real quick, I wanted to, just have everybody take a deep breath, and it's like heavy conversation right away. So let's just, again, we have to learn to like roll things off, right? And it's not the easiest thing to do. I'm no way saying, hey, just let it roll off your back, but just roll it off for the moment. Let it roll out of the shoulders. The shoulders get so tense, and the neck is very tense. And that's another thing as a medium, you kind of feel the world. You find that you can feel it in your body sometimes. And I notice that when I'm on a reading with someone, and they're holding their energy, their stress rather, right here. It's like, okay, you need to go grab a bag of frozen vegetables, put it right there for a minute, and then stretch it out. Because we hold things in our body that are so emotionally draining, right? It's a shock to our system and a scarring to our chakra system. Um, and then Janie's saying, yes, I cried a lot today, but her hugging me with that energy was something I have never experienced before. Wow. Well, see, I'm good. I'm glad you're in a place that you can experience that and appreciate it. And appreciate it, right? Yeah, Brian, he says, I don't connect in that way. It's not my way. Yeah. You mean the emotional way, to where it's limiting. Sometimes we achieve that to where we don't, because, trust me, it's a process. And Nicole, oh yes, my hunchback. Yeah, you know, makes you just want to, straight, sit straight up. give it a, give it a good stretch, right? So do that. And then, or communication, right? Um, Brian's someone that I'm gonna have to have like come on with me sometime, because my son. And hello, Brian. For those of you don't know, Brian's my son, and my daughter Samantha should be in here. Yes, amazing kids that have such insight. And again, I allowed them to be who they are. It was nothing that I did that brought that in them. They are who they are, and so they are amazing to talk to. And their techniques and the way they deal with stuff, and it's just a blessing, really. In me, I'm sure it's a blessing for them to have us around. In any case, for those of you that might be listening over on the page, because I know it'll also pop up on there, and there's going to be a separate chat room that goes to that page. If there's anyone over there, In fact, if one of you admins could check that for me, make sure no one's over there on the page in that chat room. Come over to the event page and come into the chat room with us. Uh, I do want to start doing like a topic show of the book Parascension Life, because I feel like, again, that our paranormal world is much more common than a lot of people want to see, admit, understand right now, or have, just the lack of understanding on it. Not saying that's a bad thing, just saying. Um, I feel like that's the other thing that's so bad, the guilt that we put on ourselves. I feel so bad sometimes. Find myself apologizing all the time, and I'm really to the point where I just want to say sorry, not sorry. Because it's like, ugh, I feel so guilty, but it shouldn't. It shouldn't. Guilt's the worst sin. So I don't feel guilty. I just wanted to say. But I wanted to read the book as well so we can start stepping through and seeing just exactly how commonplace the paranormal world is around us, and how parascension is really going to be something that a lot of us do, like helping others to cross over, praying for those lost souls, praying for the loved ones that have gone to the other side. All of these things are parascension, in that you are helping their ascension. And again, we want to assist their ascension. And by evolving in our system of helping, that's how we move up and evolve, and get into more touch with that higher self, and operating that 24/7, knowing that it's there 24/7. Our higher self is praying. Our inner energy is working in that teamwork to bring everything together, to put it before us and put it in our path. That's the way it is to live in the parascension, because again, it's an awareness and a knowing that doesn't stop. People are like, how do you do with this? How do you do? I have to have an on-off sign. Literally, I'm off. And I'm on. I have experiences everywhere I go. It's not limited to any one place, except for my home. My home is the least place, because I try and keep this place on lockdown. I keep my house on lockdown, right? And so, Brian and Nicole, if you guys would like, just check out the chat. I'm gonna have to go over to this other page so I can read. I can't find my share screen in this place. There was a share screen last time when I was streaming live, but I can't find it. I don't see it, and it definitely, even my window is smaller this time. It looks like. It's like, did they change things? 'Cause I remember last time I had all this stuff to be able to screen share. In any case, I'm gonna take a quick drink. Sit back, relax. I'm going to read the first chapter of Parascension Life. I believe it to be available um, on, and y'all are not going to be able to even see my screen, but I'm recording it, so it will be available um, in the recorded version of this. So this is the book, and let me just say that I'm going to expand that view, and then get out of that. Anyway, um, Parascension Life, and then afterwards we'll talk, and I'll take questions or anything like that. Parascension Life, my paranormal experiences. Um, just want to check everybody good back over here. Um, yes. So anyway, Brian and Nicole, watch that chat for me, and if anybody has anything to say or need anything, let them know. Um, I do want to read the foreword real quick, because again, this was written by my daughter Tamara, who again, is in the book towards the end, last chapter. But she helped me edit it as well. Oh, and Candy, who's in the group as well, helped edit, or rather do the graphic for the picture, the cover. So I thank them both for that. But I love the forward. It goes as such. A fresh-faced 13-year-old girl, unsure but excited about the future ahead of her, dressed up in heels for the first time on a warm, muggy Houston evening. That is how I would describe the picture on this cover. That girl is me, Tamara Marie. When I look at that picture, I not only see myself, but also see the beautiful presence of one of many of my guardian angels that I feel over my right shoulder consistently in my life. It is magically captured in a photo, a snapshot of a moment, held forever in time. It is doubtful that you will ever meet another person as interesting as the author of this book you are about to read. I'm sorry, I get choked up. I should know she is my mother. This extraordinary work will not only delight your storytelling palate, but will give you a rare behind the veil look at the supernatural world. You can rest assured that this vivid experience described are truer than you will ever know. Mom, I could not be more proud of your courage and strength in this novel and your willingness to share your life and your truth. Tamara Marie, aka your love child. And as you read that, every time I read it, I check. That's my baby. But as you read the book, rather, you'll see why she, aka your love child, because of course she's in the book, and of course all rights reserved. Okay, and then of course there's stuff about me, table of content. Um, let's just get to the first chapter. All right, this is called "Growing Up in the '60s." Growing up in the '60s presented challenges much like those of today, in the aspect that we were born to be seen but not heard, looked at and spoke down to, not allowed to express any dislike, kept in the behind the closed doors mentality, and the do as I say, not as I do attitude that has been carried on for generations. Being the second oldest of four girls, born in Germany on June 1963, I have to put it. I've always referred to myself as second born with firstborn responsibilities. My father was in the army and was stationed in Germany. The first part of my life was spent moving from place to place. I went to three elementary schools. We often lived with my grandparents, as most military families do. I loved living with my Grandma Lucky. She was more like a second mother. Her words still ring in my head. Be a good girl and everything will be all right. She was a great example of how to treat children with respect, although my mother would disagree. It is funny how sometimes we are viewed as better grandparents than parents, for them to show you respect. From 1968 to 1971, my father was stationed in Fort Huachuca, just outside of Sierra Vista, Arizona. This was a great place, excuse me, this was great for me because my grandparents and several of my mother's sisters and brothers and families had already moved to Arizona and so lived in the area. Shortly after moving to Arizona, spirits would wake me up in the middle of the night, just standing at the foot of my bed looking at me, or just walking through the room. I would pull the covers up over my head, praying for them to go away. I would see the devil, or what I perceived to be an evil ghost, walking around my house at night, seeing an arm and a hand that was red with claws and bloody knuckles move back and forth in front of the window in my bedroom. I had this incredible need to run away at night. I think I just wanted out of my bedroom. I would be in the culvert, it's a ditch beyond the officers' housing, and I would sort of wake up, look around, and go back home. They would show themselves to me while playing outside, making it impossible for me to make friends. No one wanted to talk to the little girl that claims their dead grandmother is standing behind them. Passed over loved ones would visit me before or just after they died. The night my Grandma Lucky died, she came to me and said, I must go now. Just be a good girl, and everything will be all right. I jumped out of my bed and ran into my mother's room and told her what had just happened. No sooner did the words leave my mouth, the phone rang. My mother's sister was on the other end, explaining that her mother had just passed away. Mom had just looked at me and started crying. I hugged my mother and told her everything will be all right. Grandma just told me tonight. Just told me so tonight. Whew, I said through my tears. My parents felt I was too upset from seeing my grandma the night of her death that they thought I couldn't handle the funeral, so they didn't let me go. It bothered me more than they It bothered me more that they felt I couldn't handle seeing her dead body in her casket than the fact that her spirit visited me the night she died. It was like they just ignored everything. I told them over the past few years, just dismiss it. It was an act of. Sorry. I'm getting choked up. Okay, hang on. Let me just start that sentence over. It was like they just ignored everything I told them over the past few years, just dismissed it as an overactive imagination. But things were about to change. Events of knowing were starting to be acknowledged. Several months after my grandma passed over, I witnessed the passing of my 2-year-old cousin Corey. Before I go on, I just have to take a break. I have to stop right there. Never read this out loud to anybody. Isn't that amazing? I'm not like, woo, but I'm like, woo. Oh, oh my God. Okay, okay. I gotta take a drink. Oh my goodness. Okay, I just saw that. That's right. McTight. Ty. Hi, Ty. I just have to take a moment before I go on and read that. Okay, because I can only imagine, like, how many times that actually happens and we just dismiss it or we think it was a dream or do you hold on to what it, what it really was? Hmm. Okay. Isn't that something? I'll have to practice reading that. Thank you. I love you too. Oh my goodness. I can't believe how, choked up. But yeah, that is something. Your grandma visited you too? Like after she passed or before she, or during, or the night of, or how did it happen for you? I need another drink. That's true, Brian. And again, it was, even when I'm sure you did, but you can go ahead and share it too. Even when I was writing it, it was just in the memory of it. I don't know why reading it back out was just so much more. Like, whoa. All right, hang on before you go on and talk about the next one. Like that didn't, just happen. Yes, I see that, Brian. Thank you. I realize that now. And I appreciate y'all being here. All of you. Right after she passed, she flew in the window and sat on your bed and comforted you. That's right. All right. That is something. This is life, though, This is life, guys. We want to, it's not just a story, right? All right. I must go on. The show must go on. All right, so here we go. Several months after my grandma passed over, I witnessed the passing of my 2-year-old cousin Corey. He had been extremely ill with some kind of virus that caused blisters in and around his mouth and throat. The doctor said there was nothing they could do for Corey. They sent him home from the hospital to be made as comfortable as possible, with the end of his life near. I told my mother, we have to go and visit him. It would be our last chance. I just knew he was going to die. We had gone over to my grandparents' home where he had lived with my aunt to spend time with him. After a day of trying to make him laugh and comfortable enough to take a bottle, we all laid down to sleep. Having a house full of family, I was made a mock bed on the couch in the front living room. Not sure of what time it was, I was awakened by someone screaming. My eyes could barely adjust to what was taking place at first. I saw my mother standing over my aunt who was falling to the floor, half screaming and weeping uncontrollably. Just as my focus became clear, my little cousin came running out of his bedroom, right past my mother and aunt, who had clearly fainted, straight down the hallway towards me. Just as he skipped past the entrance to the hallway, he turned to his left towards the front door. The door had opened and become filled with an amazing light, and Corey went running through and laughing through the door. As if he had never been sick, he was beaming in the light, looking healthy and happy. I jumped up off the couch and ran to my mother, who was now wiping my aunt's brow with a cold washcloth, after fainting from seeing her son dead. "Mommy, Mommy, I just saw Corey run out the front door." Worried now that he has run out into the night. "That's not possible, honey. Corey's laying in his bed. He just passed away." Her words echoed in my head as I investigated Corey's bedroom and saw his little body lying lifeless on the bed. I kept repeating, "But I just saw him run out the front door." My mother was too busy helping my aunt to listen to what I was saying. I was soon rushed into the living room and told to just sit down and be quiet for a minute while the adults take care of a few things. So I sat like a good little girl and didn't say a word. However, the image of Corey running down the hallway and skipping through the front door into a white light, healthy and smiling, wouldn't leave my mind. Once the ambulance was called, we were all sent over to the neighbor's house to wait until it was all clear to go back to my grandparents' home. While there, I relayed to the kids and adults that they were trying to console us that I was not upset. Corey looked happy to be going to heaven. He was smiling, laughing even, and went skipping, almost running into the light. My words were not received well by the parents or the children that were all around me, crying at the thought of our cousin dying in the house. Trying to console them, I went on to say, "You don't have to worry. Corey isn't in his body anymore. I saw him go into the light." No one would believe me. Not one soul that I shared my event with understood what I was talking about. "The door can't open all by itself. You didn't see Corey run anywhere. He was very sick and asleep," was all anyone could say to me. I was confused. Why didn't any of them believe me? I felt as if everything around me was backwards. Witnessing the passing of my grandmother and my cousin Corey literally opened a whole new world to me, a world where I was seeing things that nobody else could see, or so I thought. All right. That is the first chapter. Whew. All right, what's everyone saying over here? Yes, and love you too, Ty and Heather. I miss you guys. I will be coming to Florida in January, hopefully. If not January, it'll be February. Um, gonna be there for a couple weeks and do some group readings, some fun times. I hope to get to see everybody. Exactly, Brian. She loves you too. Just reading, couldn't see the chat room. Yeah, I'm gonna have to figure out the share screen for this, but I hope you all got through that with me. uh, I think that's available. Actually, yes. Oh, and then there's a chapter two does start, but I think it stops in the middle of chapter two. So yes, you can go to Amazon.com, Parascension Life, my paranormal experiences, and check that out. Let's see if it goes up bigger. There we go. Wow, look at that! I just figured out something. This newfangled stuff is fun. Oh yes, the link. What of course this is in my account. I definitely have the link on the page there, and I will share it down on the bottom of the video after it goes through. Captivating, even though I know these stories because you shared them with me my whole life. Can't wait to read more. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I know, right? And again, it's something to share them and talk about them and um, but then to put it all down and for everyone else to see, you really open yourself up, to all kinds of scrutiny and other things that could happen. So far, the response has been wonderful, though. I've gotten messages from people I didn't even know were reading it, telling me that they were reading it and they loved it and it was great and they were really enjoyed it and couldn't put it down and captivating. It was great, wonderful, wonderful feedback so far. So I appreciate that with them. But yeah, I just wanted to continue with how these experiences are more common than what we realize. And so, for us to think that, well, I'm not, I'm not psychic or, I don't have that ability or I'm afraid. I don't want that ability. I say stop. Don't be afraid. First of all, it's something that we're all born with. It's God-given abilities. It's part of our sixth sense, right? And I believe that it will be something that it will help you actually accept the reality that we really live in. That it's not just all what you can five senses see, hear, taste, smell, and um, what is the next one? See, hear, taste, smell, touch. Those are the five senses. But we operate all the time in the sixth sense as well. And I know if Mariah is still in here, she had an experience the other day she still hadn't even told me about. But I love it that when she has these experiences that she's excited to tell me, even though she didn't continue. I said, "Tell me about it." She didn't continue. So if she's here, she could type it out if she wants to share. And thank you, Janie. A wonderful book and will help lots of people. I hope so. Because I think it's really about perspective. We're taught to fear. We're taught to fear. Be afraid of this, be afraid of that. And really, what we should have been taught was common sense. It's common sense not to walk out in the street. It's common sense not to put your hand in fire. It's common sense. You know what I'm saying? Oh, yeah, it's not scary. It's not like Ghost Adventures on TV or some other shows. Yeah. I mean, it should be like what was that? The Ghost and Mrs. I'm not showing my age, but I used to watch that when I was young. The Ghost and Mrs. Muir, where this woman moves into this lighthouse and the lighthouse captain is a ghost there. And their relationship is very simpatico. He's not causing no harm. He's gives some great advice. um, and Brian is saying that his experience are more gatekeeper warrior experiences, so it's fun for me to listen to yours. Oh yeah, yeah, right, yeah, yeah. Again, Brian is a big time gatekeeper, gatekeeper warrior. He said it best. And Nicole is saying, I was very upset with my grandmother passing. I always felt that she chose to show herself to me because I was upset, right? Felt like my child mind imagined it. I know it was real after I felt better, just like you felt better with your cousin because he ran into the. I have to click on see more. Light happy, exactly. Muir, yes, Muir, the ghost of Mrs. Muir. And so yeah, that's exactly how I felt, Nicole. I felt like he had, was happy. He was skipping. He was like smiling and he was skipping up. He was like ready to go. Door opened up, poof, white light, and then boom, closed as he went on the other side. So I didn't feel scared at all. I was thrilled for him. Thrilled for him. You know what I mean? He wasn't sick. He had been really sick and oh, hardly any energy. Just looked really, really. Well, of course, death's door, really. Um, Candy saying there is no common sense. Not everyone is taught to just know. Exactly, 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 exactly. And it's sad to me, but at the same time, I feel like I've always been that. And I don't know, my kids could probably speak to it or not, but I know that there was this one time that there was this group of kids coming down the street, and I'd already had all my kids at this point, so and I noticed that there was like seven kids that were on this one kid, just chasing after him, really bullying him, and I didn't know the situation. I didn't care. I went out there. I'm like, stop it. I don't care. This is not the way to handle things. Let's talk. I'm always trying to get people to talk about it. Let's just talk about it. Can we just talk about it? It's like you can be upset, you can throw your fits, and I'm just sitting there going, "Look, can we just talk?" But yeah, we have to be that voice and bring that common sense to the conversation. Because it's a crazy world, and we are over labeling everything. So, like when you do have those experiences, or even like if you see things like out of your peripheral vision, don't turn your head to look at it. Want to know why? Because you're seeing things out of your peripheral vision, and your straight on vision is a different vision. It's a different kind of sight that comes. So when you're looking at your peripheral and you see things that are at your peripheral, please just look straight ahead and just continue to watch it in your peripheral and see what happens. Because if you turn and look at it, it's going to go away. Because again, you're looking at a different side. Where our eyes are trained to like see faces. How many of you can look at a picture and point out all the faces? Those little games that go around. How many faces are in this picture? You see the faces. You're drawn to faces. But in your peripheral, you have a different sight. And so you're able to see the shadow things that are lurking, or you're able to see lights. Depends on what's around you. Yeah, it disappears when everybody looks. Everybody look, and it goes away. You're like, there's nothing there. But yes, there is. It's still there. It's still there. Or maybe it sensed you saw it and it goes. Because I tell you what, I have a lot of stuff that runs from me. I will go clear a house, and I have had cases where I go clear the whole house. I'm walking through the whole house. I'm walking through the very last place I go. They're all like gathered up in the garage. you know, you have to go look. Go look. Yeah, go look. Is it there? Seriously, we all have that sight. And you feel it. If you don't see it, you feel it, or you dream about it. Or like Janie was saying, she felt the lady that was there. She felt the hug that she received. You feel it. We're all intuitive. You've seen dark figures in the hallway of a childhood house out of my peripheral vision and reflective in the window. And so, I mean, I'm glad you remember that. Do you remember at the time, though, that you just, you're like, what was that? Or, no, I didn't see that. No, that's not real. Let me go over here now. Because that's what a lot of us do. We're trying to go the other way, trying to look. We're not going to look at that. But then will be at other places as well. It's great because, the kids, I don't know. I don't know if Samantha and Carlos were testing me, but they took me to this place in Tennessee, one of the plantations there, to see what I feel, right? And when I go in cold. I don't want to know nothing about it. I don't look it up. I don't Google it. I don't want to know. It speaks to me. I don't need to know. I don't need. That same goes for readings. In fact, I get a lot of referrals, and the people that are referring me feel the need to tell me why they're referring someone. And I'm like, no, no. All I need is their phone number and their name. I don't need to know why. I don't need to know what. I don't want to know because I don't want them to think, that I Google them or that I know, you know what I mean? I want to be authentic. I want it to be real. And so, they took me into this plantation and we're walking through it and stuff, and I'm just like, why'd you bring me here? This says not a plantation, or not what they are projecting it to be, rather, right? So we go through the buildings and everything, and I'm just like, this is kind of new. This hasn't been here very long. Or, then we go by the house. And I'm like, that's not how the house looked exactly. They've changed it. They've added on. And then we go to where, there's this crypt, and they're supposedly, it's where they buried the plantation owners, and there ain't nobody here. Then we go to where what they call the slave grave sites, and I'm like, there's nobody buried here, but I could smell burning flesh. So they didn't bury the slaves. They burned them. They didn't bury them. They didn't give them that respect. Okay, that in their minds. And if you ask me, the burial burning is probably the best thing they did. But at the same time, it's all I could smell. And then we go over to where these slave dwellings were. They were log cabins. First of all, they did not put slaves in log cabins. I'm like, these were not slave homes. These aren't even like the supervisors that are taking care of the slaves. No, this is not. And it's disappointing sometimes. I'm sure for some people as I'm walking through, and they're just like so excited. We're here at this place. Oh, look at this, and I'm like, eh. There's nothing here. But we were leaving, and as we were driving through the neighborhood that is now surrounding this plantation, I started seeing hanging bodies. From them hanging. They were hanging. They hung so many, and it was white, black, and alike. Mainly slaves, though. It's horrible, but at the same time, I appreciate being able to see that stuff because I try to clear it. I want to clear all that energy. That's part of my Parascension world. Is that I want to clear the lands, the homes, the people, of all these energies because they don't belong here. They don't. They're stuck. They are stuck here, just like what everyone wants to call a residual energy, poltergeist energy, whatever. Those energies are stuck here, and they need to go. And if they're not stuck here, then they're the ones doing the sticking. So, and they definitely need to go. They need to go. So that's why I'm grateful that I get to see that stuff because that's another thing I do is set vortexes around and try to clear areas because trust me, it's the land, it's the homes, it's the land, it's the land. Over and over and over again, all the abuse. It's the land. It doesn't matter what you do. If you don't clear it, it's the land, or then it's the house. I can't say it enough. It's the land, because the land can hold so much. Mother Earth's energy. It's not that she's negative or evil, but her energy is so high pitched, and there's so many different vortexes, and people have started all these different portals and stuff, and oh, they're making it cray cray. They're making it cray cray for Mother Earth. So all of these things are connected. So I mean, we can get into the grid lines, the ley lines of Mother Earth, the vortexes that we put out. Different areas. If anybody ever wants to join in on that, all you have to do is say, "Let me add my energy of good, loving, positive, healing, clearing to Solana's vortexes," and you're in. And really just to keep it going, you think about it every now and again. You might get the impression that I've moved it because we have several of them. But we need more people clearing and getting rid of this stuff and ascending it up. And I used to blast out the energy. God said, stop that. Send them back to me. And so I open up the vortex and send them back to him now. And let him deal with his unruly children. Oh, so okay, you've seen that multiple times over the years, Nicole. Yep, I mean it doesn't stop. It's a constant. Everyone's like, "Oh, can you clear my house out? Can you do clear my chakras?" And sure, sure, yeah, yeah, I can. I can't keep it for you though. I can't keep that energy there for you. That's something that you have to build. You have to start your own relationship with your own energy system. Clear your house, clear your surroundings, clear your chakras. You have to be the one. I wish I could. Trust me, if I could do it for everyone, it'd be done. We would be living the peace on earth that I project right? Janie's saying I'm going to have to clear the energy in my house when the family moves out. Every day. You don't have to wait till they move out. Every day. Hey, Miss Terry, how are you? Absorbent. What'd you absorb? Just got your book off. Aw, thank you, Candy. Let us know. Please leave a review if you do end up, well, even if you don't enjoy it. If you do end up enjoying it, leave us a review. Let other people's know what you think about it. I appreciate it. Thank you. And yeah, clearing the houses again, keeping the vortexes up and going, keeping things clear that way. And but definitely, what I do for my home is I have, and again, a lot of this is, vision work. The vortexes that I do is vision work because, yeah, I can see the vortexes going. It's vision to keep them there, right? They're connected. And then the vision work, that we do for the protection around our house is we envision 100-foot selenite crystals that are beautifully round and standing right beside each other, and I have at least 50 of them taking my whole property around, and it creates this pyramid above and a pyramid below my property, and it encompasses my house, and I keep that energy going 24/7. Trust me, other people can bring energy into your house. So, yes, even after people come in, even after I'm even on the phone with people, I need to, keep that clearing go. It's a constant. I need to keep that clearing going, and I'll know because I'll see like these little black things roll across my floor like a kitten, and I don't have a cat. I don't have a cat. So if I see that, I'm just like, ooh, up and out with just the first thought. The first thought, the first feeling, the first sight of anything. Up and out. I ain't got time. I ain't got time to play. I ain't got time to play. I know a lot of people want to connect with the energy around them and see what they want. Do they have a message? If spirit, your guides, your loved one, it's spirit in good intention and love and edification for you has a message for you. They're not going to do it in a way that scares you. Not going to happen. Not going to happen. It's not going to scare you. They will give it to you through a dream. They'll give it to you through synchronicity. Spirit knows that we don't even trust our own thoughts. So they don't talk to us a lot through our thoughts and through our, words. Because, those words are, that got me in trouble last time I listened to that one. I'm not going to listen to that. That's how we think. And they know that. So they don't do anything that's going to scare you. Now, the having someone come to you after they've passed over, again, it's going to be in a loving way. It's not going to be as scary. Sometimes I did see them as they died, but only after I'd see them. And again, it wasn't a scary thing. It was, oh my God, you died. This is how you died. Oh, and it's more the empathy, and then you turn it to the apathy, so you can move on. But point being, it's constant. It's constant. And that's why when I do a clearing for someone, I teach them how to keep their house clear. I'd be doing a disservice if I just have them pay me, to do it every time. No, it's not how I want to do it. I want them to learn for themselves how to do it. Open up your own abilities. Don't be afraid. You're more stronger. You are stronger than anything that could try to come through your house. Okay? Anything. You're more stronger. We have to know that. You could have a cat. No, 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 no. I don't. I don't want a cat. Um, Terry saying I'm good. I hope you are doing good. Oh, I've missed your love. Oh, yeah, I missed you too. Guys, you should come around. I know, come around more. Um, Brian saying it's amazing how efficient your protection pyramid is. Bad energies always working their way up or being evicted out. Exactly. I like to breathe. This is my sanctuary. And so we have to keep our house clear. And, the protection doesn't just stop with the visualization of the protection and the knowing the energy is with you. I'm the mantra, I am connected, grounded, balanced, protected, and flowing in the love of the divine is forever in my mind. And so that keeps that energy flowing, and I'm constantly in my chakras, so I'm in that energy of awareness and discernment. That's what living in the Parascension life is all about. It's a way of life, because you're aware of all these energies. You're not afraid, and you're willing to take care of it right then and right there. You don't have to worry. You don't need a conversation. You don't need to know who it is. If it's not anything good, it's gonna come at you in different ways that are very subtle and just wedging their way in. It's not good. Oh, oh, I love you, Samantha. You can listen back to the recording. Let's recap what you just said for the last hour. It's so funny. But you understand what I'm saying, right? I mean, we have to keep ourselves all the time, 24/7, in that knowing, in that protection, everything around us. We emit that out. Our energy actually extends out 20 feet around us. So as we're driving in our car, not only are we in our protection, but we're praying for everybody else in that circumference and their protection. So, it's edifying everyone. We're walking into a store, our energy's going in first and praying for everyone in that store. So that's in their protection and in your protection so that they don't affect you. Oh, let's see here. Miss Jeannie saying I've only had one bad visit, and I know that there were not spirits. That some were kind of evil and masqueraded to me who they were. Excuse me. They were choking, and I called out for help, and they left before anyone heard me. I tell you what, you know, again, those bad visits, that you feel like are some kind of evil masquerading, and they're choking you. So many people have felt that. I mean, they've actually had it to where they, literally laying on them. They can't move. Their energy feels like, they're trying to scream. You're screaming in your head, "Wake up!" Or screaming in your head, "Help me!" And that's a real thing. Those are entities that do that. And yeah, people are like, "Oh no, I was just dreaming," and oh yeah, no, no, no. That's real stuff. That happened to me a lot. A matter of fact, when it happened to me, or when it was either the aliens were coming to get me, or that I was just feeling this really intense evil energy that was trying to, I felt like get inside of me. I would get this rush, like this rush would come out, like something about to happen, something about to happen, and I mean it would just rush through my body. And thank God I haven't felt that for a long time. It's been since I was oh my goodness, it's been since I was in my 30s that I've actually had that happening to me. But yeah, it definitely can help your energy field. The more you amp it up, the more protection it causes you, even while you're sleeping. While you're sleeping, or when you're doing astral reiki, or putting yourself in any kind of um, remote viewing situation, you want to be in that protection. Let me see. Oh, Nicole saying, can you make your energy field go further? Yes, you can. That 20 circumference is just what's naturally around you, okay? But yes, you can expand your energy to go as far as you want to go. You want it to go around the world? You want it to go out into the universe? You want to expand your love out that way? Please make sure you're full of love when you do it, because everything you do affects everything. Candy saying, yes, most definitely, and I've had tried to teach my kids the energy protection. Yep. And Nicole, yes, Nicole, astral projection. Oh, yes, that's what Brian is saying. Mm-hmm. Yeah, see, astral projection. That's how you're sending your energy out. It's the same thing. Um, Janie, good. They never came back. And the more I think, that we take that stand and we say no and we fight them, we're giving up their will over our free will. Because I don't know if you know it or not, it's like your free will. We have free will. Yes, we have free will, but our free will has been infiltrated. And so we have to take that power back. Most people just walk around willy nilly thinking, I got free will, I can do whatever I want. And they get used in the most horrific ways. Um, it's crazy. So you have to take that power back and you have to fight them off. You have to say no. You have to tell them no. Because that's the last time I had that experience is when I was living in Mission Bend and I was asleep on my couch and in my living room, and my living room was such that the front door had a little hallway, and then on this wall there was a big fireplace, and then you go around the corner this way, and there's my living room set, and I was asleep over here, and I got that rush, and I was just like, oh no, and then I remember seeing this little gray alien thing coming through that hallway and coming around towards me on the couch. And I remember thinking, no, no, you cannot take me. You cannot. And that's, he probably did, but that's the last time I felt it. Because I know my children experienced stuff later after that in another house that we lived at in Sugarland. So we have to take that power back. We have to exercise our free will. We have to exercise it. Oh, you were awake, Janie, and you saw them clearly? Ah, they were not who they were trying. Oh, they were not. They were like, you said they were pretending to be someone else? So they were not who they were trying to like. Or, okay. You would laugh knowing who one of them tried to make me think they were. Uh-oh. It was Trudeau? Like the Canadian Trudeau? Mr. Canada? Deep state over there? Trudeau? He's probably more alien than we want to admit. uh, anyway, but yeah. Anyway, but yeah. Yeah. Again, so many experiences that people have. I mean, I know that everybody in here has had experiences, so that's why I'm really digging on that word parascension because it's a paranormal world, but we are truly helping things ascend around us. Right? Those energies that are stuck here, and those energies that are infiltrating here. We're helping them all to ascend and sending them back to their daddy. Yes, yes, that is weird. But who knows, what that whole. I would have to really. I mean, you can probably self analyze it yourself, but that'd be something to look at. Something to look at. So, anyway. But yeah, anybody have any more experiences they want to go through or talk about or get into. Otherwise, we've been on for an hour now, so it's about that time to go. I know it's a work night for some of you, and I appreciate you being in here. And for some of you, it's even later because you're in Eastern time, so I really appreciate you being here. And but for those that are watching later after the recording gets to go up, you can let us know if you have anything you want to share with the group. You're more than welcome to share it. And then please share stuff in the group also. Anything that you might feel of interest or any experiences that you might have had that, we don't want to just, you know, push it away. We don't want to just throw it under the rug. We don't want to just call it, that was nothing. Because typically it's something. So let's talk about it. Let's learn how to remove them. Open up that vortex. Send them right back to God and let Him deal with His unruly children because that's what they are. Regardless if they're stuck here or if they have reasons to be made to be stuck here. Terry saying, I had a dream of a dead person. That's a visit. Was the dead person someone that you knew? That's typically a visit, when we have dreams of our passed over friends, families, acquaintances, people we knew or didn't know. Um, that's typically a visit. They're coming in your dream with something to share with you or, you know. Oh, thank you, Janie. Thank you so much for coming in and hanging out with us and for sharing your stories with us. I think we're brave for putting it out there, for letting other people know this stuff is real, this is what we go through. We live in a Parascension world. And thank you, Miss Candy. Thank you for coming in. And he talked to you, and you were the only one who could see him, and we were at a family dinner. Wow, cool. So you knew him then? You were at a family dinner. See, that was a visit. That's a visit. Sometimes they just want to come and say, "Hey, we're here. We see you. We love you. We're praying for you." Right? That's what we need to do for them. We need to love them. We need to pray for them. Even the evil that's out there, people, you cannot fight evil with evil. You have to fight it with love. And so sending that love out and telling everyone you love them in that spirit, in that energy world, will help balance things out in the physical world. So very cool. Very cool, Terry. So we'll have to talk. We'll talk again next time. I will post it up the day that we go live. It'll probably be tomorrow. I'll probably do another one tomorrow. And we'll read another chapter. But I appreciate you guys for coming in and for hanging out with me and for sharing your lives and for understanding, that this is a Parascension life and we're going to get through it together, right? So many blessings. Thank you all for coming in and thank you all for listening, those that are listening to the recorded session. We appreciate you. Many blessings.
Thank you for joining your spiritual counselor, your eyes to the sky, and your internal GPS activator. Join Solana on the next episode of Parascension Radio.